Man, you had a rough morning, huh? Did you just run off and rip one real quick? Yeah, smoke.
Not me.
Your eyes
See
just
what?
went bloodshot in like 13 seconds to the point where it looks like, oh, flush it out. Go ahead. We're good for a minute. Get over the sink and flush that bitch out. We're done. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Stokastic.com NBA strategy show presented by PrizePicks. Western Conference Finals edition. We finally have reached it. Western Conference today, Eastern Conference tomorrow, and then they just trade days, 8:30 p.m. every day until it's over. I don't think there's any more days off up until, of course, these series are over. But anyway, happy to have you guys with us. Going to be a fun one today. I'm Dave Loughran at Lafay_D, joined by Josh Engleman at Josh Engleman on Twitter. What's going on, bro? Good to be back with you.
It's great, man. As much as I want to know about what your weekend was like and all the fun stuff, this is a show for less small talk and more slate talk. So I think we should just get right into it.
Yeah, that's not going to happen because I wanted to tell you about something.
Why don't we eat human eggs?
Because they're too small.
That's not a good reason. I salt my food. Salt's tiny.
And too valuable.
Sprinkle little human eggs across the top.
Let me throw. They probably don't taste good. They're
delish.
Let me tell you something. First of all, happy to have you guys with us. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so yet. All of you guys that have been with us all season long, and those of you who are new to the channel, just discovering us recently, welcome to everybody. Take a single second. Atone for your sins here. Bow down before the YouTube overlords and hit that thumbs up. It goes a long way. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below if you're listening or watching after the fact. And if you're in podcast form, we see you out there. We know about you. Appreciate you. Leave a rating, a review, all that good stuff. Tell your friends about the Stokastic show. Of course, those who enjoy us leaving the reservation, going off the rails from time to time, but at the same time, giving you the best, most hard-hitting analysis you're going to find for all sports across the board. All right. I mean, that's real radio talk right there. Just horrible. Real hard-hitting sports talk and analytics from your guys, Dave Loughran and Josh Engleman, every day of the week at 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Always a great idea to sound more like the radio. Maybe we could put out some newspaper content
exactly.
Too.
It's the worst. I mean, those radio guys, you know what the fun part of that job is? For sure. And I know you'd love it too, because you'd be, I don't know if you know who Howard Eskin is, but you lived in the area, so you should know who Howard Eskin is.
I do.
You would be Howard Eskin when people call in, just calling everybody dope, calling.
Yeah.
Like, I think oddly you would hate the calls, but at the same time you would live for something like that.
It would be my only salvation because I don't want to have to talk about like Jim's Tire and Auto as like a mid-show sponsor or all of the other garbage that you end up having to do. Yeah, ripping into moronic callers would be my only saving grace.
Would be the best.
Yeah, I mean, I do that now. They're just not callers; they're YouTube chatters.
What's the auto parts? God, what is it?
O'Reilly?
O'Reilly. Yeah, that's it.
Right. I don't want to be giving out tickets to the 15th caller or whatever. I don't want to do any of that stuff.
Some of the stuff is fun, but yeah, it can be a drag. Okay, so I have a question for you, and I just want to get your thoughts on this. We're going to dive into basketball in just a moment here, but we need to open the show on a light note today. We had no basketball yesterday. We're back for the conference finals, single game showdown. So I had texted my brother-in-law the other day, and I was, online on the dark web. No, it wasn't the dark web, but I was looking at.
Oh, are you going for the human eggs?
No. I was looking
at, people eat the opposite. I'm just saying.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
What do you mean?
You know what I mean.
I don't. What do you mean the opposite?
The opposite.
Why don't you just say it?
I mean, you thought it was ridiculous for me to say that people could eat human eggs.
It's foul.
Right. However, people eat the opposite.
Oh, yeah, but not as a delicacy.
I've seen some gals.
So I talked to my brother-in-law, and I was looking I was curious to see what type of exotic meat out there you could buy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
I'm sure you've done the same thing. For sure, there's some interesting stuff out there, right?
There is.
Wildly expensive. You got to get it shipped. There's a place locally that has some stuff, but nothing crazy. And I came across an ostrich egg, right?
I got a place here. I got a butcher shop here that has some pretty wild shit. It's kind of fun. So
yeah.
But continue. Ostrich eggs. Yes.
Okay. How many? I asked him. I said, "Do you want to go in on an ostrich egg with me?" And he said, "Absolutely." The only problem that I have is I don't know how to cook it. Do you know how many chicken eggs it's equivalent to?
It's a lot, man. Those things are massive. Massive.
It's 24 chicken eggs.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would cook it. I really want to.
What do you mean
do
you
it.
don't? You know exactly the same way. We're not going to make it. I don't think you're going to fry it and flip it or anything, but
it has 176 grams of protein per egg.
Ooh.
I mean, that's a bodybuilder could eat one ostrich egg in a day and be okay.
Yeah. They're big. They're big old things.
They're big, but I don't know. I mean, someone has to tell, because I will do this. I just want to know how you would cook. I mean, I guess I'd have to hard boil it.
No, just crack the damn thing in a big stock pot and just blend that bad boy up and cook it like scrambled eggs.
I guess that's the only way to do it, right? I don't even know if it would fit in a wok.
It would very easily fit in a wok.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Think about it's not bigger than the wok when you get it.
Yeah, dude. Neither is an egg. Neither is a chicken egg. It still spreads out.
Yeah. Down. It fills in space.
So you're saying put it in a big pot then and cook it?
Sure. But a wok by a mile.
Okay.
Unless you're making like a 4-egg omelet here and making it a 200 regular eggs.
I'm not sure. Do you know how much they cost? Do you know how much one ostrich egg costs?
I don't know, like $40.
No.
I don't
know. The cheapest you'll find, there's a couple for 100 in here.
I'm seeing much cheaper prices.
They're cheap. They're cheaper now than they used to be. They're cheaper now than they once were. Here's one for 45.
Must be a lot more ostriches running around.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm going to try it. Maybe I'll document myself doing it. Skull said some bodybuilders would need 2 of those eggs. I mean, yeah, if you're massive, but they say,
if you're like the mountain,
right. They say like 0.7 grams.
6 inches long by 5 inches wide. It's the length of a dollar bill, man. And you're wondering what pot and pan you're going to put this thing in.
There's 24 eggs.
Yeah. They weigh on average 3 pounds and contain 2 pounds of egg protein.
Would you eat the balut or whatever that's called?
Is that it's like the aborted fetus? Right? Am I right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, in the right situation, I'd try just about anything, but that does not appeal to me.
Would you rather eat? This is a serious question. Last question for you, and then we get into we get into
the human ones.
No. Would you rather eat cow dick or balut?
You mean again?
For me, I think cow dick is actually the answer. I'd have a real tough time chomping through bones and beak.
I think you can get through them pretty clean.
You think so? You think it's all pretty mushy?
Define cow, like, is it prepared or?
Yeah, it's cooked.
Okay.
It's
not raw and attached.
No, you just.
It's probably the cow, right? That's probably a little easier.
So. I think so.
Probably the cow. I mean, look, these aren't things that I'm like trying to get. If I were in a place that had these things with enough peer pressure, I'd try just about anything.
Me too. I don't think there's any denying that.
I'd have a harder time eating a tomato than those 2 things. That's for sure. That's not even up for debate.
What do you think what do you think the series lines are between the Lakers, Nuggets, and Miami Heat and Boston right now? Series. Do you already have them pulled up?
No, I don't. I mean, I have a guess I know the Boston one. I know that Boston is like a minus 500 favorite or something along those lines. Last I looked.
Okay.
I'm guessing Denver's probably in like the 180 range.
So Boston is minus 525.
Yeah.
Denver minus 160.
Okay. Yeah, I hadn't seen the Denver one, but I was kind of aware. But I actually did know the Boston one.
You
it's
know,
when the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler turned back into a pumpkin.
We have 2023, 2024 futures already for the finals winner.
Okay.
Can you give me
Sure.
the top six? I'm doing top six because there's 3 tied for 6. Do you think you can give me, and chat, take a guess on this as well without cheating. Do you think you can give me I know you enjoy this stuff. I know you're
I don't want to look at chat.
I know you like this.
Straight ahead.
Like this. All right. Give me the top 6 for 2023 finals winners. The futures are already out.
Okay. Boston and Milwaukee are unquestionably 2 of those 6 teams. Have to be.
They are unquestionably 2 of the 6. Correct.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Denver has to be.
Mm-hmm.
If
you get them, I want them in order afterwards.
Boston's 1.
Yep.
But that's just, there's no way around that. I'll worry about order later. I want to get the first 6.
You have Boston,
Phoenix,
Milwaukee, and Denver, right?
Phoenix.
Yep.
So that's Boston, Milwaukee, Denver, Phoenix. I guess the Lakers.
Yep. You got the top 5. You got the top 5 already. And then there's 3 tied at 12-1 for 6. And then it widens a little bit.
Okay. Golden State.
Yep. Impressive
Philly.
stuff. What?
Philly.
Yep.
Memphis?
They're 9th, but they're 15.
I forgot Jaws flashing guns again. Never mind.
Yeah, no. when you hear this one, you're gonna go, I should have thought about that. This is a team we've talked about a lot before that we think could have been there. That we think, had all the stars, had all things gone according to plan, could have been there. You're gonna kick yourself on this one.
It's not Miami again.
Nope, it's not Miami. Miami's 22-1.
Clippers?
Yep, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So Boston 5-1, Denver 6-1, Bucks 6 plus 650. So basically the same.
Sirius Jones says Kings. What are you talking about? They're more likely to miss the playoffs.
Kings aren't even close. They're 30.
Nor should they be. They're terrible. They're terrible.
Kings have worse odds than the Pelicans. Of course, Zion expected to return. Who knows? But
they should. They are a worse team than the Pelicans.
Yep. Yeah. Cavs at 25-1, Mavs at 20-1. Yeah.
I would on it like the Grizzlies.
I
like the Grizzlies there.
Who?
The lack of the Grizzlies not being at the top is very interesting because they obviously have a lot of firepower to make some moves if they need to.
They do. I like the Clippers too, but it's just you can't bet that team this soon because they're always hurt.
Yeah, you're better off just getting them in the middle of the year if Paul George has to miss 3 months or something.
Right. Suns might have been out in the first round if the Clippers were healthy.
Truth.
So Clippers could be here still playing right now if they were healthy. There's no question. All right, you ready? Last one. There are 3 teams.
Yeah.
At plus 500 or 50,000.
Charlotte.
No.
Detroit.
25,000.
Shut up.
Yep,
there's teams worse than Charlotte.
There are 5. What?
There's teams worse than Charlotte.
Yes, there are 3 teams that are 500-1.
They must be pricing in Wemby already. Jesus. Okay, so Spurs.
Yep.
Pistons.
Yep.
Rockets.
Got it.
Yeah. The Hornets should be a part of that trio for sure.
Yeah.
Unless they're okay, well, they're gonna get Wemby, they're gonna sign Miles Bridges, and all of a sudden they're like an actual good team because that path is there. They can be legitimately good
with a healthy LaMelo and what? Yeah.
I mean, Miles Bridges was like a 10-win player 2 years ago before he tuned up his gal. Now, is he a garbage human being? Yeah, probably. Is he a garbage human being? Yeah, probably. However, you start bringing all those guys back, and you've got like a real legitimate rotation if they snag a Wemby. You can like flip a Mark Williams and a pick or something later for, a real player. They've got a lot of moves. Gordon Hayward's expiring.
Yeah, they could be decent. They could be decent. And the Thunder are going to be a fun team to watch this year too. They're not there yet. They won't, but they're going to be
I would
fun.
not be surprised if they host a first round series next year.
Neither would I. I don't think they're there yet to win the finals.
No.
That's what I was saying. As far as not there yet, they're not. I'm not betting them to win the finals yet.
No, they need
unless you were giving me Charlotte odds or something like that, then I'll dabble. But no. All right. Lakers are 6-point dogs tonight. 222.5 total. Yeah. All right. So we'll break all of this down. It's a single game slate. Yeah. We got all the tools for it though. We got everything lined up for you. We got the showdown ownership. We got projections. We got everything you're looking for this. Do you have a read on this game out of the gate before we dive into the DFS aspect of it?
I don't. And that's kind of exciting to me. Just because this is a very interesting, meeting of teams, because we've got Denver with just an aggressive home court advantage. One of the few real home court advantages that exist in the league. You're getting an elder LeBron having to go into elevation. It's a real thing that exists. And Denver has been downright dominant on their home court this season. But we've seen the Lakers steal, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, we've seen the Lakers steal the first two games of the first two series they played on the road. Important. I think they're going to let this, they want to get a split in Denver. They want to steal home court. I think they go for it more in game one than they do in game two. That creates a very interesting balance to me, where you're getting a Lakers team that does not want to go down 1-0, and you're getting a Denver team trying to protect real home court. I don't have a great feel for this first game. I just want to watch it. I'm so pumped for it.
What were you saying? Correct me if I'm wrong on.
The Lakers won the first game of their previous two series, correct?
Oh, yeah. I thought you were saying they won both away games. Yes, they won game one of both series. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think they want, obviously they want that to always happen. They just want to win every game they play. But getting it now, I think is paramount. Going down 1-0 is not fun. What
do you think the defense? So Nikola Jokic against DeAndre Ayton, he just made him question whether or not he wanted to play basketball anymore. Almost took the path of Ben Simmons after that series.
Yeah.
What do you think it looks like for him against the Lakers? Far, far different team than the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, it's a completely different scenario. I mean, you're going to get basically single coverage AD for a large majority of the game. I think if it's not Anthony Davis on him, you're probably getting LeBron. It's just a completely different series for Jokic. He can't just go through Anthony Davis. If he does, Denver is going to absolutely eviscerate the Lakers in this series, and we are going to look at Nikola Jokic in a much different light when all is said and done. That's not what I'm expecting to happen. We're talking about, arguably the best offensive player in basketball against, call it one of the 5 best defensive players in basketball, and, the peak of defense when it's all clicking. It's the most fascinating matchup you can find. This is as good as it gets, offense versus defense for two centers that you could possibly see.
Do we have points, rebounds, and assists for? Yeah. All right. Points, rebounds, and assists for Jokic. Yeah. Still sitting at 51.5. That ballooned up higher all the way to 53.5 towards the end of that Phoenix Suns series.
Yeah. And that makes sense. As the series goes on, you concentrate more into the stars. So you're going to see those numbers sort of creep up a little bit. He's plus 115 or something for the triple double today in the Western Conference Finals.
That's the crazy. Plus 105 on yes.
There you go. Yeah. For the first game of the Western Conference Finals, and this dude is a coin flip to triple double.
Yeah.
Against arguably the best defensive center in basketball.
Do you like the no on that?
I mean, I'd lean more to the yes than anything else. I would just want to cheer for it too, especially game one here at home. He's just good. He's just good. I could see his assist number being higher in this series.
I could too. because he can actually pass out of doubles or pass out of tough defense, unlike Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid just gets stripped.
Sure does. Hey, I've been telling you for years, man.
I've not once disagreed with it. I've been the one
for 2 years you disagreed, so you had no choice any longer.
You can run the tapes back as long as you want. I've said you're not going to win a finals with Joel Embiid is your number one. I've said that.
Convenient.
Don't try to gaslight me, dude. Don't toss this down the memory hole. You know what I've said. I want to hear that. Chat knows what I've said.
You told me Joel Embiid was the best offensive center in basketball for 2 years.
Didn't say that either.
All
right. Let's dive into this. What do you say?
Let's do it. I'm in, man. I'm ready. It's fun to talk about a new series.
It is. The table is set. We get down to business here. All right. So the ownership coming in on Nikola Jokic today. This is going to be crazy. We have him projected right now on DraftKings for 68, Josh. Not ownership, 68 DraftKings points.
I got him at 67.6. So yeah.
68. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what I don't remember seeing that. I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure we've done it, but it is very difficult to project someone for 68, 72% ownership, 25% at captain. We all know that Nikola Jokic at the captain spot could be massive. I don't care about any of that. I think if we're actually going to bring any value to this show, we have to talk about, and I know you've probably run some lineups. If not, we can do it now. See what the optimal is. See what your top 20 lineups are. What do lineups look like with Nikola Jokic at the captain position? Because he's not cheap.
I mean, they look great to me because I get Nikola Jokic. He's very clearly the top play today. There's no even choice in the matter. He is the highest owned guy at this moment, and he should be. I got a lot of really quality Nikola Jokic at the captain lineups. The problem is you have to get your punt right, whether that's Christian Brown, whether that's Troy Brown, whether that's Jared Vanderbilt, whether that's, your punt 1K Peyton Watson type dudes. You got to be Malik Beasley is the flat 1K. You got to be ready to play somebody that might not even step foot on the floor today.
Yeah, I know. So what if Jokic goes for 50, right?
He's probably not in any lineup whatsoever.
What's that?
He's not going to be in a winning lineup.
Right. What if he goes for 60 at captain, but Anthony Davis or LeBron James go for 55?
I think you're getting AD or LeBron at the captain spot, and you can get to Jokic then in the utility.
Right. So this is just a thought exercise for a moment to see what avenues we have for, because listen, as good as Jokic is at this price, there's still a good chance that he's not going to be in the captain spot in the optimal.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's way more likely that he's not in the captain spot than he is. He's more likely to be in the optimal than not by quite a bit.
Spot. Yeah.
When I ran my sims, and we could obviously speak to what's on the site now too. I have Jokic 28% captain, 48% utility. So basically 76% optimal.
Right. 76% optimal.
Just overall.
Optimal in general. And overall, yeah.
Yeah. And then, 28% at the captain spot. Quarter of the time, you're just okay, I need the big man.
I don't know. I find this slate really interesting for that very specific reason. This is it's clearly, it's not binary in the sense that it's just Jokic or Davis at captain.
No.
But it does feel kind of binary in the sense that it's, do I go with Jokic or do I go with the field? Not just, spread these guys around. It's what Jokic, he has 70 plus fantasy points in 5 straight.
Yeah.
In 5 straight, he has 73, 81, 76, 73, and 74.
You get any of those 70-point games, and like he's a must-have in the lineup in some spot, probably the captain spot.
I'm wondering, if you get one of those 75-point games, can you still win with somebody that doesn't see the floor?
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably more likely to need it.
Yeah, well, right, because then you
or you're sneaking into like 3 fantasy points in the end.
Well, that's kind of the issue here is if you're looking at there's several different builds you can do with Jokic at center too, right? You can go Jokic at center, and then you go ahead and you forego some of these other high-priced guys, but that could get tricky because going mid-range here could be a problem. If you're ending up with just a Jokic captain and then a bunch of, the KCP, Bruce Brown, Schroeder, Russell types, Reeve types, right? Because that's pretty much what you would end at. Or you're going Jokic at captain, you're going Anthony Davis or LeBron James or something like that. Let's just, for the sake of argument, say Anthony Davis. And then you're going to absolutely have to bite the bullet somewhere down there at the bottom.
I think you got to bite like a bullet and a half.
You think so?
Honestly. Yeah. Like,
what's the cheapest we can go?
Oh, you're going all the way to the bottom for like Malik Beasley, Troy Brown. You're going to the bottom for guys that may or may not get back into the rotation or aren't going to play all that much.
You have
whether that's on the Lakers side, whether that's Beasley, Brown, insert all of the Wenyen, Gabriel, those types. Denver, it's a little bit more difficult because I just don't really see them making any wholesale changes to the rotation, particularly now. They've been playing like the same group of dudes. I don't really know who would work their way in. If you think that maybe Denver, goes to Zeke Naji or something along those lines for the backup Jokic minutes, I don't really see that to be all that viable yet. So like I gave Peyton Watson 1 minute just to make sure $1,000 guy shows up for the Denver side. I didn't really get him. I'm getting more towards the Beasleys and the Troy Browns of the world for right now.
Crazy.
Yeah. I think it's really hard to build a legitimate lineup without like sort of like Jared Vanderbilt to me is 16% owned. I don't know if he gets back into the starting lineup. I don't know what they're going to do here. It's an interesting spot to try to get Vandy back out on the floor, but he right now at 2,600 is the guy that I'm sort of like most interested in as a value option.
I get it. He had seen his minutes consistently trend down game after game throughout that Golden State series, but this is a different matchup.
It is. It's a very different matchup.
And also, look, he's wildly unappealing if you're playing a regular multi-game slate or something like that, but very cheap. Can he play 15 minutes and give you 12 or even 10 or something like that? On a night like tonight, if Jokic goes for a huge game, that probably works. So I think it's more fun to look at these slates in this sense than it is just go through each game or each team and be like, do we like this guy or do we like that guy? It's because this is straight game theory. It all comes down to what type of builds make the most sense. And you've already run a lot of this stuff. So what is your optimal lineup right now with Jokic in the captain spot?
That's a good question. Let me look.
Yeah, I want to run through some different iterations of this, right? Like Jokic at captain, Davis at captain. Because I also wonder, how much of a difference does just going from Jokic to Davis really make a captain?
I'm resorting my
sheet
by fantasy points. I have 15,000 lineups generated right now, so it's
just thinking out loud anyway. I'm just thinking out loud does Davis. So if you play Davis at captain, you have $6,500 per player remaining. If you play Jokic, you have $6,200 per player remaining. It's not that big of a difference from Jokic to Davis.
No, not at all. So my optimal right now, I just sorted by the wrong column. Fuck me. Okay, my optimal right now is Jokic captain, Murray, Porter, Gordon, Bruce Brown, Vanderbilt. So 5-1 Nuggets with Jared Vanderbilt.
One more time. Jokic captain.
The start, it's Jokic, Murray, Porter, Gordon, Bruce Brown, Jared Vanderbilt.
Oh, man. Okay. So no Davis.
Nuggets onslaught with Punt Vandy.
And no Davis or LeBron in there either.
No Davis, no LeBron.
What do we get if you guys don't like this format, let us know. I think it's probably more helpful to do it this way.
Yeah.
What do you get if you were to throw whoever you want, Jokic or Davis in, and make sure that whichever one isn't at captain is locked in the utility.
Okay, so you want to make sure that you have both of the centers.
Both of them. I don't care who's a captain, but both of them. If you want to make it LeBron, that's fine too. Essentially, two of the three top guys with one of them captain.
I hate that you're saying two of the top three guys because I think the second top guy is Jamal Murray, but we'll have that conversation in a bit.
Fair enough. I'm talking just price point.
My second highest projected lineup is Jokic captain, LeBron, Murray, Gordon, Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, or, insert $1,000 guy here. That spends the full 50K, by the way.
I like that better than the other one, except it's going to be It's going to be very popular.
That lineup actually does make my 150. The first lineup doesn't.
I like the
because of ownership.
But the thing is, if you like Murray as much as you do, then you're
I have
okay.
80% Murray right now.
Wow. Well, then how much Murray at captain are you going to be getting to? Because that could open some things up theoretically.
30%.
Right? How much?
30.
Oh, I thought you said 90.
No, that would be aggressive.
How feasible is? All right. So see, this is where it gets interesting, Josh. All right.
Yeah.
Murray captain.
Yeah.
With two of Jokic, Davis, LeBron in the utility. Gives you 39-33 per player remaining for the final three utility spots. Let's just say that you wanted to throw Beasley in there as well. You have 5,400. So that could get you to, and this is going to be, look, you're maxing this out, but Murray captain, Jokic, Davis, Beasley, Brown, KCP.
Hit me with that again. I'll tell you where it ranks.
Yeah, sure. And I'm not even saying it ranks well. I'm just giving you what you can do.
I have a Murray captain lineup as my third highest projected lineup.
So it was Murray captain with Jokic and Davis. And then I just maxed it out with Beasley, Brown, and KCP.
Okay, so Gordon, Vanderbilt, Christian Brown is my third highest with that same Jokic AD combo.
Okay.
But let me break it down and see where that lineup you just put out there actually ranks. So that was Murray, Jokic, AD as the top three dudes. And
then Beasley, Brown, KCP. Now, of course, you could throw Schroeder in there. Like you said, you could swap out, I guess it would be KCP or Brown, throw Gordon in there and make one of KCP or Brown Vanderbilt.
You gave me the KCP, Bruce Brown, Malik Beasley lineup is the third highest projected Murray captain lineup that I have. Murray, Jokic, AD lineup that I have. I cut it. It doesn't make my 150 because it's over-owned. Well, not over-owned, but owned more than I want it to be for a large field GPP. But it's there. My top four Murray captain lineups all get cut for ownership.
You know what I'm wondering? If they would get cut if you took a Bruce Brown or a KCP and turned it into a Dennis Schroeder and opened up some salary cap. I wonder if from an ownership perspective, if they would get cut in that case.
You're trying to turn who into what?
I'm saying because with that lineup that I gave you, you're maxing it out, right? It's maxed 50K.
Yeah.
The one we just talked about.
Yeah.
If you were to remove a KCP and make that a Dennis Schroeder, then you've got $1,000 left. I'm not saying it's going to project particularly well, but it is interesting to think that maybe that additional salary lowers the ownership considerably on it.
Oh, for sure. And that's sort of where you start looking, where you're trying to spend a little bit less salary so that you can buy some more uniqueness. So you're not chopping 115 ways at the top.
We have Schroeder projected at 18 and we have KCP projected at 21.
Yeah.
But ownership's going to be dramatically different there.
Very, very different. Yeah. You're cutting $1,000. You're getting basically the same guy, but you're saving the $1,000. It's just a build that's going to exist a lot easier.
Do you think Lonnie Walker has a role in lineups tonight? Like a significant one? Because he's not Vanderbilt price and his minutes are clearly in flux.
Yeah, I don't love him today at 4,200. He could just as easily not be a part of this moving forward. Now, I have no feel. He's a guy where there's no reason that Lonnie Walker can't just be someone different now. whoever you want that to be, whether you want that to be Malik Beasley, whether you think that that is Troy Brown, there is a path where Lonnie Walker goes back to what he looked like earlier in the playoffs. I tried to give him minutes. I gave Lonnie Walker 18 minutes. He is not particularly interesting to me at his $4,200 price tag, particularly when I see his current ownership. I mean, we have Lonnie Walker at 21% owned. Like, that's just, to me, that's more than I'm interested in.
What an absolute cliff dive you have when you look at the top 4 projected players and then anybody beneath that from a projection standpoint. Of course, you have Jokic in a tier of his own. We haven't projected at 68 on DraftKings. You have Davis at 52. You have LeBron at 50. You have Jamal Murray, a small tier break there at 44. And then it drops off to 28.8 for D'Angelo Russell and Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr.
It's a little bit of a fall off. Just a little bit.
Where do you think the ceiling comes from in terms of these mid-range guys? What I mean by this is, in this specific series, given what we've seen throughout the postseason, but of course heading into a new series, given the minutes that these guys are playing, if you were to get some of that, you're going to have to, that, mid-range, it feels like Russell and Reeves are kind of the toughest to get to, but I could just be off there. We'll get to that. Just because they're in kind of no man's land if you want to play some of the high price guys. Of the Gordons and the MPJs and the Bruce Browns and the KCPs, those type of guys, is there a preference here where, I guess Michael Porter's in the same price tier as Russell and Reeves, but Schroeder, Bruce Brown, KCP, Lonnie Walker, all of those guys in the 4 or 5K range, are there preferences for you?
I think it's probably KCP. Just because I don't really see much of a scenario where he's not out there. Whereas, they can go to more Schroeder or they can go to less Schroeder. Walker's up in the air. Troy Brown, Rui. I think that Bruce Brown, is just like a slightly... I think Bruce Brown and KCP are very comparable. We're getting more ownership coming into Bruce Brown right now because of what I would imagine is the $400 discount. But I think the Lakers side offers you the higher ceiling if you get the guy right, but there's also a lot more downside to get the guy wrong. They've got a lot of moving parts of guys that don't have to be a part of a rotation in a different series. And that's fun in a game 1 where you can roll the dice and see what they do. Maybe they try to keep the momentum alive of taking out Golden State and they play it pretty close to what we saw closing out the Warriors, or maybe they see the series very differently and they want to flip it on its head. Right now, I'm not really getting to Rui, to Schroeder, to Lonnie Walker. I'm having a harder time doing that. I'm going all the way down to the Vanderbilts and the Beasleys right now for the Lakers side of it. It doesn't take much, though, for one of those 4K guys to make that push.
So I asked Adam this question yesterday on MLB Deeper Dive, which was fun. Kind of fun to be back talking a little bit of baseball.
You had that yesterday?
Yeah, I did the MLB Deeper Dive yesterday. Enjoyed myself.
Okay. Interesting.
They said, we got to bring the big guns up on a no NBA show. No NBA day today.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I was off.
I would have enjoyed being off more, but
yeah, I did enjoy being off.
All right. So I asked Adam this question yesterday on PrizePicks.
Yeah.
Because you and I didn't do a show on Sunday. So yesterday.
Thanks a lot for that.
And then 2 days ago, there were, I don't know why they did this, but there were 2 guys going for $1 million. Maybe there was whatever. So that's 18 props, right? Among those 3 lineups. For those of you guys that are unfamiliar with this, every day during the NBA playoffs, PrizePicks is giving someone that enters a 6-pick flex play lineup a chance to win $1 million, right? It's a very cool. It's actually a really, call it a gimmick or whatever you want to call it. It's very cool. Like it's awesome. And it's fun to talk about. Every day they're doing that throughout the NBA playoffs. No one's won it yet. It's very difficult to hit 6 of 6. Very difficult.
They should have tailed me. I went 3-0 on Sunday.
There you go, man. But they didn't because you probably had some unders. So
I didn't actually.
No. Okay.
No.
Guess. And people act like I hate betting overs. That's not the point. You'll see where I'm going. Of the 18 props among these 3 cards comprised of 18 props. How many do you think were overs and how many do you think were unders?
We're going to go 18-0 to overs.
18-0.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
18
8-1 in my last 9 props.
Yeah. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 and 3 in my last 17 props. Individual props.
Crushing it lately.
Nuking. Absolute nuke job.
You go on runs, man. And when you do, you got to ride the wave. You absolutely have to. If you're not on PrizePicks yet, throw your hat in the ring here for a couple of reasons. First of all, you're getting all of our tools free for a month. Stokastic plus Platinum, we partnered with PrizePicks to where you sign up at PrizePicks using the link in the description or chat, and you get a first match deposit bonus, 100% match up to $100. So if you put 100 in, you got 200 now. Even if you only have 10 to put in, you're still doubling that and you've got 20. Free money out of the gate. Second, $120 value Stokastic plus Platinum. Every single tool that we have on the site. Maybe you're someone that's been on the fence. You're like, you know, we actually had a tweet from someone the other day, Josh, that was like, listen, guys, it was a Hall of Fame. He used our avatar and got top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more so he could get the free month. And he's like, you know, I've been wanting to use the tools forever and I watch all your shows. It's just out of my price range. And I get that. Like, not everybody can afford to pay $120 a month for all of the tools, even though it'd probably be really beneficial to them to get in the Discord, to use the tools for not just baseball and basketball, but for every sport. He's like, but now I got the free month. Thank you guys, which I love seeing that stuff, that someone rocks the avatar and they got the free month. And now hopefully they can parlay that free month into being able to pay for these tools forever now. That's the great thing. PrizePicks, you don't need to win a tournament. If you're in an eligible state, if you're in a legal state, you haven't signed up yet, and you want a free month of Stokastic plus Platinum, which is $120 value for every tool of every sport, especially everything that's going to help you with PrizePicks, use the link in the description. Get your deposit match bonus. Get the free month, $120. Use Josh's videos, too, for free on the Odd Shopper channel. It's a legit no-brainer.
It really is. It really is. I mean, look, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I will pull a muscle doing so right now. 13 and 3. I'll throw out the Embiid free square. 13 and 3 in the last 16 individual props that I've picked. That is incredibly hot run. And you should get used to it because that's just what I do around these parts when it comes to NBA props. But you'd be up a lot more if you were just taking those and got that $100 bonus, and you'd still have a Stokastic account to look at for the next 3 weeks. What more do you folks want? Obi just mentioned in chat right now, they have minutes played props for today.
I love that.
I think is really interesting. Over under 38 minutes for Nikola Jokic, 37.5 for AD.
I
like a lot of these. I'm more likely to go over on Jokic.
Yeah.
I think there's a path where AD doesn't like get what you want.
They have a lot of fun props though. Like the dunk, how many dunks, how many the one I love, and I told Ben this on the Odd Shop the other day, the one I absolutely love is field goal attempts, because I don't have to bet on whether or not they're going to hit their shots. I'm just betting on usage and volume. You know what I mean?
You're just wanting those shots to get up.
Yeah, who cares? Go Carmelo Anthony all day. I don't care. Remember Draft Street? You just couldn't play Carmelo Anthony back then. Do you remember Draft Street?
Yeah, it was Jordan Crawford for me is the guy that stands out in my head, of the guy that would go out there and be like 3 for 19 from the field. And you're like, shit, I just lost like 8 more fantasy points. Yeah,
they would deduct points for missed field goals. Yeah. That's a brutal. You can't.
Draft Day had it too.
I don't think they did.
No, they did. I promise you that they did. Yeah, they had the minus half a point for a missed field goal attempt.
Draft Day had some fun stuff. They had the jackpot contest.
Yeah.
Where if you scored over a certain amount, you would split the pot. Yeah. Remember that?
I do.
Draft Day was fun.
But yeah, I remember it most on Draft Street for sure.
Yeah, Draft Street with the deduction was, it was they called it an efficiency site.
Yeah. I don't mind it.
No. I mean, there were a lot
if it were up to me, I would change the scoring system to make it more like appealing.
Yeah. But it's never going to work.
No.
It's never going to work. There were so many DFS sites back in the day that people have no idea about. If you type in draftstreet.com now, it goes to DraftKings.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, they bought them, right?
Yep. There was Fan Throwdown. They tried to do – remind me sometime to tell you what transpired with them, why they that was a crazy one. That was, I don't want to rub anyone's name in the dirt, but that one was crazy. There were a lot of different DFS sites, and now you don't see it anymore. But all of our tools for every site, for every sport. Not, by the way, it's not just for PrizePicks. It's for DraftKings, FanDuel. You're getting all of that. And on last thing I'll say about PrizePicks that I never want to ignore is the fact that if you go for a 5-pick flex play, you're just picking props over or under, no juice, just over or under. You can mix as many sports. They have Taco Tuesday today, so you're not exactly getting free squares, but you're getting excellent value on some of these.
Yeah.
The one thing that we remiss to not mention is on typical parlays at other sports books, if you hit 4 or 5 legs, you win nothing. Okay. Not a round robin, a parlay. If you hit 4 or 5 on PrizePicks, you're still 2xing. So there's a real way to sustain a bankroll. And then when you hit those big ones, really blow things up. Yeah.
It's perfect. And like you were just talking about how not as many DFS sites out there. Every site that we just mentioned that's got a tombstone on top of it now, PrizePicks is bigger than all of them.
I would venture to say that they are 10 times as big as most of them.
Yeah, like this is they're a behemoth. You like don't think that this is just some like flash in the pan site. Like they're here.
They're massive.
Yeah, massive.
If you had to, I don't know. They have. Last year they had 300,000 new members on the platform. That was January 2022.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that number kept going up.
Oh, it's well into the millions. It has to be.
Yeah, they're smashing.
Yeah,
they're a great place to be. I love it's all a really fun mechanism. I'm happy to do their content. I'm happy to talk about them on these shows. The deal that you get to sign up there is exceptional. Like, I mean, there are times where we're going to sell some things and we're like selling it, so we got to sell it. This isn't one of them. It sells itself.
Actually fun
it's
to talk
so
about.
easy. It really is.
It's fun to talk about the $1 million thing too, just to see what people are doing. I hope one of our guys gets it and you never know, dude. You never know. You never know. But plus, you can still make money.
What a sweat, man. Good God, that's got to be.
Oh God. Just use the link in the description and in chat. Otherwise, we can't give you your free month. We want to be able to give you that free month because we do that. We think you'll stick around and win money. All right. So let's dig a little bit deeper back into this as well. Into this slate. So I think we've touched on a lot of key points. One I want to bring up to you is, do you think there's any merit to going with some mid-range or cheaper options at the captain spot and just full out utility going with a ton of top tier players? I don't know if it's practical. Do you have any lineups that grade out well with that?
No, I think you really need the path to one of the non-studs today at captain is pretty light. If you want to take your shots on Aaron Gordon, MPJ, D'Angelo Russell, those like 6 and 7K guys, I think you could take that shot. I don't really think there's much at the bottom in this sort of series. I think the likelihood of one of these top guys just having an outlier performance is going to sort of lock them into where they need to be. You're going to need that Michael Porter Jr. hit 8 threes type game. And we're talking about a 3 or 4% outcome. So the large majority of my captain exposure is going to be soaked up by AD, Murray, Jokic, LeBron to a degree, although I'm not getting to as much LeBron. That's a pretty big fade for me today, but that's neither here nor there.
I just keep getting this feeling too, and it's just completely, there's nothing to back this up outside of the fact that we know LeBron James is still a very good basketball player.
We do.
We also know in that Phoenix series, in the Golden State series, this isn't to say that LeBron wasn't needed. Of course he was needed, right? That's not what I'm saying. But, it was an easier series than many would have expected. I think the same goes for Memphis. They took care of Memphis in 5 games. Or what, 6 games? 6 games. That's funny because that series never even felt competitive. Maybe it's just me, right?
I forgot that it happened.
Yeah. And I 5 games was just ingrained because I'm thinking, hey, 5 games. Yeah. Went 6. But do you think we see do you think we see him activated, Or is that just, I mean, it's obviously not something that's quantifiable, but LeBron James in a conference championship game, do we see him go nuts in some of these?
In some of them, yeah. Look, I said it during the Golden State series and it got like poo-pooed a little bit. He's got to pick his spots. We got to stop looking at him through the lens of him being the same person he always is. He doesn't have that sort of gas tank anymore. He's going to like pseudo loaf it for decent chunks of games. He's going to turn it on in second halves and times where he can. But there are going to be peaks and valleys for LeBron through these series because he just can't give it in the same way. Like it's going to be really hard to get, 80 plus minutes across 2 games of LeBron in Denver at altitude. Like that's a big task. He's got to be able to pick his spots a little bit more. Part of the reason why I'm a little bit more pessimistic, ceiling is high when it's looking good, but I think the floor is also ultra low. The fact that he's only $400 cheaper than AD, like I think the gap between those guys is a lot bigger. I'm not a big LeBron believer for today.
I don't know. We're talking about altitude with LeBron, but he's proven still that he's not really human.
I mean, he is now. Look, I don't want to undersell him. I'm not trying to make it sound like he's just some role player in the series, but
for sure.
we can't look at him like this is 2016 any longer. He's just not that guy. The best guy on the Lakers is Anthony Davis.
Sure. There's no argument for me there. Okay, so your thoughts on Jamal Murray, though. You mentioned Jamal Murray as somebody that you think is very much in play as one of the top options today, getting 30% at the captain spot. I just want to make sure we cover all our bases here before we say goodbye for the morning. What is it about Murray today? Price point? What else that puts him up top for you?
I mean, I think he's just like, let me go to our projections because I think that's the easiest way to detail it. And look, it's not even just me. He is second in captain ownership right now. He is second in overall ownership. He is the second most owned guy on the slate behind Nikola Jokic. So it's not like I'm just making this one up and I'm the guy that has the lean on Murray. It's a price thing. The fact that AD is 11.6, that LeBron James is 11.2, that Jokic is 12.8, and you get Jamal Murray all the way down at 9,200, it's a completely different tier for him today. And that's what's really changing up the game. If we look at our projections right now, we have LeBron James at 50.27. We have Jamal Murray at 43.5. I think those guys should be significantly closer to each other in projection. LeBron James is normally like a 1.3 fantasy point per minute guy. I think in a slower matchup that we have today, particularly against a slower Denver team, Denver, one of the slower teams in the league, that per minute rate goes down for LeBron. I don't think that Jamal Murray and LeBron James are all that different today on a per minute basis, which I know is probably really crazy to think about, but you're getting a massive savings by going to Murray. Murray was like 1.2 fantasy points per minute so far this season, or so far this playoffs. I'm intrigued by that.
Yeah. Any concerns about this illness? It seems like something we shouldn't be worried about. He is technically questionable, but
I'm ignoring it. I don't know what else I could do with it right now. Like so Murray so far this playoffs. I want to make sure that I get this right here. 1.18 DraftKings points per minute. Okay. That's where we're at for the playoffs so far. 1.18 for Murray. This season in the playoffs, LeBron is at 1.28. I think most people would think those numbers were further apart than they are. And I think in this series, on a per minute basis, Jamal Murray's per minute rates look better and LeBron James's look worse because of the opposite matchups. These guys are closer than they should be. And that's part of the reason why I think the ownership is as high as it is. I will have more Jamal Murray than everyone but Jokic. I have 87% right now, including a large swath in that captain spot. I will not be able to get away from this. This is very much so a big Jamal Murray day for me.
And also in competitive games, they're playing pretty comparable minutes too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to not expect them both to be at like 40 minutes for today.
All right.
I think it's a great spot for Murray too. I'm really curious what they do defensively to guard Murray. Like you assume that this just becomes Schroeder, I guess. I don't know.
I want to close the show out just looking over a few more optimal lineups. I think that will be extraordinarily helpful for the audience here. Like I said, it's a lot more helpful than just going, all right, what do we like for the Lakers? What do we like for Denver? And then zero context on how to actually put that into practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
First showdown slate, it doesn't matter. Before we do, though, the MLB lineup generator is brand new. Been out for less than a week. It is less than $4.50 for your first week. I would say be like our boy LX Foley, who was using the NBA lineup generator, took home nice little 15,000 the other day using that. My guess, he's already signed up for the MLB lineup generator because it's, first of all, it's cheap and it's putting you in a position to go, okay, how do I use this? First of all, no learning curve. No learning. If you're going in for something, $4.48 for the first week, you want to go into this with a pretty good idea of how to use it. Make it simple. That's what we've done. You go in, Josh, all you do, you can lock players in, set your stack type. So you say you're on DraftKings, you want to go 4-4, you want to go 5-2-1, you want to go 5-3, fine. You can lock them in or run a bunch one way, run a bunch another way. Like I know, say most people are going to run a bunch of those, say Fantasy Cruncher, which is going to cost you a lot more money. Of course, that's on, as an add-on on our site, but it's not $4.48 a week. They'll run a lot of different stack types. You do it in football too. And then you sort them out and you have a bunch of different stack types. You can do that with this as well. Yeah. And then you can upload them to CSV. It's optimized for mobile. You can swap players out if you want. You do it on your phone, taking a dump after work. It sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Like you have a busy life, right? You love DFS. Some days you don't have the time to research, but you still love sweating it. You still want to have some lineups in. You still want to have some fun. Even if you're playing $2 a day. Seriously, you're playing $2 a day. Who cares? Putting 4 lineups in the quarter arcade. For less than $4.50 a week, you're putting yourself in a great position to try this out, especially if you're someone pressed on time. Bigger bankroll, smaller bankroll, doesn't matter, but there's so many different use cases for something like this. And as you know, Josh, we're already throwing out the worst lineup. We're just feeding you lineups because we're showing you the optimal projection. We're showing you ownership, how chalky or contrarian it is. We're already throwing out the lineups that don't project to do well in the first place and giving you guys the better stuff.
Yeah, look, even if you don't want to say 4 lineups, let's say you just want to max the quarter jukebox on DraftKings.
Sure.
That's going to cost you $5. You get your 20 entries out of the lineup generator. That CSV is ready for you. Paste that bad boy directly in. Super duper simple. Gives you firm control over everything you want, whether you're trying to lock people in or swap people around, whatever you want to do. If you want to make contrarian or balanced lineups right out of the gate, you can do that. But you can very easily get the 20 lineups you want for the quarter jukebox. That's a $5 cost to enter. And you have upwards of, in this quarter jukebox that I'm looking at right now, that's $250 to first. It's a pretty sizable payout if you're only going in for 5 to start. To try that out with the lineup generator for $4.48, it's the perfect time to try it out.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and Andy said he uses the MLB lineup generator with the top stacks tool. That's a great call too.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have fantasy, yeah, it's a great call. But yeah, check it out. Link in the description and in chat. Click that in order to activate the discount. Get 50% off your first week. Check it out. I think you guys will really enjoy it. John P, I never know if he's trolling or not because he usually is. How do you play Showdown? You want the best value guys in the captain spot? ? Well, and Kick's good. DraftKings and FanDuel, way different from a Showdown perspective. On FanDuel, you just want the highest projected score, especially if it's a Jokic or something, which is projecting way higher than anyone else.
You basically need the top 5 guys. Maybe it becomes like the top 6 or 7 because you need like the next lowest salary guy, but it's basically like you're trying to put together the best 5 guys in order.
Yeah, because you're not paying 1.5x for the MVP. On the captain spot on DraftKings, you're paying 1.5 times his actual salary. So there's more nuance to it than that, which makes it crazy that even at his price point today, Nikola Jokic is still, arguably the best captain.
Yeah, he should be. Like I've got 30-something% of Jokic. In this case, you kind of do want the highest scoring guy to be in the captain spot. But because you multiply the salary, you do start to open up a mechanism where like the highest scoring, best value dude could steal that spot. Creates a balancing act.
Want to go over to close out the show your top 5 lineups right now?
Yeah, let's do it. My top 5 projected lineups, or the top 5 lineups that I actually am using.
Well, I guess I won't do that to you because I know you've sorted them out already.
I can either way. It's fine with me.
Let's do the ones that you're actually using because that's actually accounting for ownership.
Sure. Let's sort this bad boy. Look, it's going to be a lot of like garbage dudes at the end that, I don't know if they're going to play or not. And we'll see how that shakes out by the end of today. By the time we get closer to lock, something that is Malik Beasley might end up being Wenyen Gabriel if I think this is going like a different direction. But the point will stand.
And real quick, just to follow up on what we said in chat. With Showdown, you have to look at it entirely differently, especially when you have a lot of these high-priced players and it's not 2 dog shit teams where you can play a bunch of mid-range guys. That's why when Josh is saying right now, John, to answer your question, like it's possible that Josh, some of the top projected lineups he's going to have are going to have a guy that might not see the floor tonight. And believe it or not, that could be a winning lineup as well.
Mm-hmm. Right. So because you have to be able to, like, you got to find the salary. And if going to a punt play allows you to get 3 of Murray, Jokic, LeBron, and AD, like those raw points might be enough. When you start to get in these playoff, because a showdown in the regular season is wildly different than a showdown in the playoffs. Because you don't have your starters playing 34 minutes. They're playing 40 plus. Yep. So those higher salary guys start taking a bigger chunk of the overall pie. And that's what swings you back around to the garbage. So my highest ranked lineup for right now is Jamal Murray, captain, Jokic, AD, Aaron Gordon, Jeff Green, Malik Beasley.
Wow.
So it's a AD Beasley duo for Nugs. I also have that same lineup, but instead of Green Beasley, I have Rui Hachimura, Peyton Watson. Obviously, you can swap out Watson and Beasley if you'd like there. And that one will be quite
when the
low.
Starters are playing 40 minutes. There's no meat on the bone for some of these bench players.
No, like what you're really trying to do is maybe the Beasley or Watson get in there and like knock down a 3 in the final 90 seconds. Those 3 points become incredibly valuable. What you're hoping for there is either Jeff Green, like in the first lineup, or Rui in the second lineup, ends up being the bench guy that does the outlier dumb shit and gets to like 15 fantasy points. That's what you're looking for. And at that point, then you're just like, well, I hope that the punt dude is the functional path.
Yep. Supply and demand just said Beasley doesn't even get minutes. We just went over that. Just went over that.
One, this is a different series. If you're confident that Malik Beasley isn't playing today, that's an interesting stance to take right now. Do I think that he's playing today? Probably not. But I am willing to roll those dice. Insert whoever you want at 1K here.
Next lineup. Give me one more.
Next one I have actually has AD at the captain spot. That goes to Jokic and Murray, Aaron Gordon, Vanderbilt, and then Beasley once again. But like basically that last guy is a lot of rotation of Beasley, Watson, Troy Brown, Jared Vanderbilt, Jeff Green potentially. Like I think Troy Brown becomes kind of interesting in this series. I don't know if they want to give him a shot on Jamal Murray at all. At which point then he becomes like a punt.
That lineup that you just read off is kind of nice though.
I'm a fan.
You've got 4 legitimate players, right? Because you said it has AD, Murray, and Jokic, and Aaron Gordon with Vanderbilt and Beasley.
AD, Jokic, Murray, Gordon, Vandy, Beasley.
If you were to happen to get 20 minutes for Vanderbilt and he gets back into the role that he was playing early in that Memphis series, things start to look pretty good.
Yeah. Look, even if he hits 12, you're probably feeling you're at least happy that he got out there.
Ronnie
6 minutes in both halves.
Talking about it. We are doing a free show. You're more than welcome to leave. No one's got a gun to your head, pal. No one's got a gun to your head. It's just a whole show.
Can you imagine if somebody did?
Someone from a competing site.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you guys. You're the best.
Just out of curiosity, do we have those? Competitors?
I have guns. Yeah.
Oh, I meant competitors. I don't think we really do.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Don't do it.
I mean, that's just
Pride cometh before the fall, my friend. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm like the United States of America, man. I'm going to assume that nothing bad ever happens.
Yeah, we are currently in a massive demise here in the United States of America. So that's just a bad example.
I mean, like, our biggest threat used to be Canada. Now Canada has turned into East Canada and West Canada.
Dude, you don't want to go down this road, brother.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Okay. Are you really nervous about West Canada?
Oh, I'm not worried about Vancouver. I'm not talking about Canada. I'm talking about the rest of everything that's good. We're in trouble, man. Yeah. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But anyway, we're 2 likes away from 100. We didn't hit 100 likes yet. I can't end the show until we get over.
To 200? You want to stick around for 103 more?
No, I'm saying until we get over 100.
Oh, I thought you said 200. I was like, get to 100?
No, I said we're 2 likes away from 100.
Yeah, I thought you were saying we're trying to get to 200. I was like, brother, we're going to be here a minute.
I have stuff to do today. There you go. Bang. Appreciate you guys hanging out as always. Remember, PrizePicks. Get the free month, get the match bonus, maybe win $1 million. Link in the description and in chat. Come say hi in the Discord when you do. And check out the MLB lineup generator. It's awesome. Just came out last week, less than $4.50 for the first week. Link down there. I'll see you in the Chalkboard app today if you guys are there. That's free forever. All the picks, all the conversation. We're almost at 2,000. We're about to hit 2,000 today or tomorrow. So link for that. Free app. Track your sports bets. Sync them all. Sync all your books. All the box scores built in, and a great community of like-minded people who love betting, sports, talking DFS. And we have fun in there. So if you're not a paid sub, Chalkboard's always going to be free. We'll see you there. Otherwise, Josh and I will catch you back here tomorrow on the Strategy Show presented by PrizePicks. Peace.